Hello, everyone. Today we're going to tell you a story called Byuk Bao, one that would leave anyone with a lump in their throat. The story of a mother expelled from her own home, of a little girl who unintentionally revealed a secret that the adults had kept hidden for years, and of a family that seemed calm but was actually rotting from the inside. A woman full of wounds, Huyn, took little Maya to visit her paternal grandparents. But she never imagined that just one trembling sentence from Maya, "Grandpa, Grandma is mean. She kicked my mom out of the house," would leave everyone in shock. And right in that moment, the truth that had been buried for 5 years came to light. The reason why Huyn had to leave her husband's house, the plan to keep Maya there, the intention to take her to see her father who was in prison. Everything exploded in the middle of the courtyard. The confrontation between Mr. Wan and Mrs. Joa became as tense as a rope about to snap, pushing the story toward a twist no one expected. And when Huyn picked up her daughter and left crying, another secret was about to be revealed. Music. If you want to know the terrible truth that Mrs. Joa hid and why Maya was so scared that she broke down crying in front of the whole family, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment so we can tell you the next drama-filled part of this story. That morning in the little house was truly peaceful. The gentle wind passing through the garden leaves sounded like a greeting to the new day. But inside Huyn, another storm was rising, the storm of worry, of fear that she had been hiding for so many nights. Huyn stood in front of the window, her hands clasped and trembling slightly. Her tired, red eyes stared into the void. I think I'm going to take Maya to her grandparents' house. Even though Tuc and I are no longer together, they are still the girl's grandparents. Yi froze for a moment, turned to Huyn, and looked at her for a long time, as if trying to read every hidden fear in her heart. "You're going to take Maya there alone?" His voice was serious, full of concern. Huyn bit her lip and looked at the floor. "I don't know how to handle it. My ex-mother-in-law never loved Maya music, and now she wants me to bring her over to play. I'm afraid something will happen." Huyn's voice broke. Without hesitation, he stepped toward her and placed a hand on her shoulder. His voice was firm but warm. "If you're scared, I'll go with you. I won't let anyone hurt you. Maya will just greet her grandparents for a while, and then we'll leave. You don't have to face those people alone." Ye's hand on her shoulder was warm and steady, the only support she could still believe in. Just then, tiny footsteps sounded on the floor. Maya appeared, rubbing her eyes, her hair all messy, and ran to hug her mother's neck. Huyn hugged her tightly, trying to smile to hide the sadness burning deep in her chest. "Maya, do you remember your grandparents? In a little while, Mommy will take you to see them." "Yes." Maya lifted her head. A bit of doubt appeared in her big eyes. Music. The image of Grandma yelling at her the other day was still very vivid in her memory. She nodded but immediately stepped back and grabbed Huyn's clothes. "Mommy, Grandma doesn't like me. She scares me." Huyn's heart tightened painfully. She quickly crouched down to the girl's level. "It's okay, Maya. Uncle Yi is coming with us. No one will hurt you or Mommy." Maya looked at him, then back at Huyn, as if Ye's presence calmed some of the fear she carried. The girl snuggled into his arm with the naturalness of a daughter with her own father. Huyn looked at the man and the child, and for a moment, she let out a sigh of relief. She understood that no matter how difficult today would be, as long as he was by her side, she wouldn't have to face alone the people who had once made her fall. And the door to the grandparents' house was waiting for them, full of conflicts, risks, and words that could hurt her heart again. But this time, he would be with her, and Maya wouldn't have to face anyone alone. The path to Mr. Wan's house was strangely silent that morning. Every step Huyn took felt heavy, and Maya wouldn't let go of her mother's hand, her eyes full of fear as she looked around. He walked right behind, alert to everything, as if he only needed the slightest signal to step in front and protect them both. When the three crossed the gate, Mrs. Joa's dry cough echoed from the porch, weak but cold as ice. Huyn took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. She leaned toward Maya and spoke softly. "Come on, honey, say hello to your grandparents." As they entered the courtyard, Huyn said, "Music. Grandma is sick. Today I brought Maya to visit her grandparents." Music. Mrs. Joa lifted her head. Her sharp eyes scanned Huynh from top to bottom, not hiding her annoyance at all. "If you've come, sit down." Her voice was icy. Then she looked toward the door and shouted loud enough for the whole neighborhood to hear, "Old man, Huynh brought little Maya here." From the kitchen, Mr. Wan came out. Emotion was visible on his aged face. His eyes lit up when he saw Maya. "Where's my Maya? Grandpa has missed her so much." But that expression lasted only seconds. When Mr. Wan saw Huynh standing behind the girl and, above all, Yi next to them, his face darkened immediately. His tone changed. "And Yi, what are you doing here?" The courtyard fell into absolute silence. Yi stepped forward and bowed respectfully. "With your permission, I just came to accompany Huynh and Maya. I'll stay here while they visit their grandparents." Mrs. Joa jumped into the conversation right away, her tone louder than normal, as if she needed to prove something. "Yi, we don't hurt the child. You don't need to worry so much." But the way she said it only made the atmosphere heavier, as if she were trying to justify something no one had mentioned. Maya hid behind Huynh, a chill running down her spine. She could feel it clearly. This place did not have the energy of a happy family welcoming their granddaughter. Mr. Wan looked at Maya, then at Yi, with an expression hard to read. "You came because you're afraid we'll do something to the girl?" His voice grew lower, loaded with a kind of pain no one understood. It wasn't anger or reproach, it was like a long-hidden wound. Huynh wanted to step forward to clarify, but Mrs. Joa interrupted immediately. "Today the girl stays here with her grandparents, and you and music can stand there as long as you want." Her tone was sharp, full of hidden intentions. At that moment, Yi stepped forward and positioned himself in front of Huynh and Maya, his gaze tense, ready to react to anything. The atmosphere in the Wan house was so tense that just one wrong word could make everything explode. And Maya, with her innocent eyes, trembled a little, tugged on Ye's side, and whispered, "Music? Uncle Yi, I don't want to stay here." That tiny phrase was exactly the spark that forced the three adults to face the truth that had been hidden for so long. The atmosphere in Mr. Wan's courtyard grew increasingly uncomfortable. Maya squeezed Huyn's hand tightly, hiding behind her like a little bird seeking shelter. Huynh stroked her hair, trying to keep her voice as calm as possible. "It's okay. Maya is just coming to say hello for a moment, and then we'll go. The girl is scared, she doesn't want to stay long." Mr. Wan frowned. His voice tensed. "Leave so soon? Let her stay a bit longer to play with her grandparents." "It's fine." Mrs. Joa quickly came out of the house, her tone sharp and full of annoyance. "If you keep protecting her like that, how do you expect her to get used to this house? Leave her here. She's a granddaughter of this family, not just yours." Her words startled Maya, who burst into tears, clinging to Huyn's neck while trembling. "No, I don't want to stay. I'm scared." Huyn's heart tightened painfully, but Mrs. Joa raised her voice even more, trying to drown out the child's crying. "Children cry. Music. So what? Leave her here. Taking her with you would be going against me." Her voice nearly tore through the small courtyard. Yi, who until then had let Huynh handle the situation, could no longer stand it. He stepped forward and spoke coldly but clearly. "You're scaring the child. Maya just arrived, and you're already scolding her. How do you expect her to stay?" His voice grew even firmer, each word striking directly against the image the family wanted to maintain. "Huynh no longer has any obligation to this house. If it weren't for a bit of respect for the past, she wouldn't even have brought Maya today." Huynh took Ye's hand and gently pulled him, trying to calm his anger. "It's okay, Yi, let me speak." She turned to her father-in-law. Her eyes no longer trembled as before. Now they held the determination of a mother ready to protect her daughter at any cost. "I've already brought Maya to see her grandparents, but the girl is scared and doesn't want to stay. I'm taking her back." Mr. Wan opened his mouth to say something, but Mrs. Joa cut in again, her gaze full of irritation. "If you keep her glued to you all day, how will she ever stay? You go. Leave Maya here." "I won't do anything to her." She emphasized the last phrase strangely. "I won't do anything to her." "Music. but her voice trembled slightly. It wasn't weakness, it was as if she were trying to hide something. He looked directly at her with deep, sharp eyes, as if he had noticed something unusual when she said, "I won't do anything to her." "What exactly do you mean by that?" Mrs. Joa immediately looked away and nervously started gathering utensils. Music. The courtyard fell into a silence loaded with suspicion. Huynh stood there, feeling a chill run down her spine, and a terrifying thought arose unbidden in her mind. What is she planning? Why does she want Maya to stay so badly? To take her to see TUC in prison? To use the girl for some purpose? Music? Or is there something even worse hidden behind it? Maya's broken sobs brought her back to reality. Music! She lifted her into her arms, hugging her tightly, as if to protect her from the whole world. The girl is not staying. I'm taking Maya. He positioned himself beside her, covering them like a firm shield. Mr. Wan watched them leave the courtyard. His eyes wavered, as if deep down he felt profound sadness. But Mrs. Joa behind him pressed her lips together. Her eyes darkened, as if she had unintentionally revealed a plan only she knew. And precisely that silence of hers made everything seem more dangerous than ever. What is she really plotting? And why does she insist so much on keeping Maya? These questions accompanied Huynh all the way back and squeezed her heart with an unease she had never felt before. Just as Huynh lifted Maya to leave, the girl's crying erupted, breaking the already tense atmosphere like a rope about to snap. Maya cried non-stop, tears running down her cheeks. Suddenly, she pointed directly at Mrs. Joa with a trembling, fearful voice. Music. "Grandpa, she's mean. She kicked Mommy Huynh out." That innocent but sharp phrase, like a knife. Just one sentence, and the entire courtyard fell into a suffocating silence. Mrs. Joa froze. Her face abruptly turned pale, then dark, unable to utter a single word. Mr. Wan's eyes widened. Music, as if someone had knocked the breath out of him. He looked at Maya with worry mixed with barely contained rage. Huynh pressed her daughter to her chest and tried to calm her with a broken voice. "Maya, sweetie, don't say that. You're just scared." But the more she tried to explain, the more suspicious everything became. Huynh lowered her head in front of her father-in-law, trying to regain composure. "If there's nothing else, I'll take Maya back. The girl can't take it anymore." She turned to leave, but as soon as she took a step, Mr. Wan stood up abruptly. "Wait." His voice was so strong that both Huynh and the girl jumped. He advanced a few steps, his face tense, and looked at Huynh with an expression different from before, not anger but genuine confusion. "Huynh, sit down for a moment." His tone lowered, but the gravity in every word forced everyone to listen. Music. "Maya, don't be afraid. Come to Grandpa." Maya hid even more in Ye's arms, shaking her head strongly. "No, I don't want to. I'm scared of her." He gently squeezed the girl's shoulder, reminding her she was safe by his side. His firm, direct eyes fixed on the grandparents. Huynh spoke in a thin voice. "Uncle, it's best if Maya goes home today." But Mr. Wan did not take his eyes off his granddaughter. Music. His eyes moistened, as if carrying a secret kept for too long. "Maya, why did you say that? Who told you? Did you see something Grandma did to your mom?" The question fell like a bucket of ice water. Mrs. Joa finally reacted. "Don't listen to a child. What would she know?" But her voice was no longer firm. It trembled and sounded forced, as if Maya's words had hit exactly what she wanted to hide. Music. Yi frowned. Each of his words came out slow but sharp. "Maya is small, but children don't make up things that scare them so much they end up crying like this." Music. He stared fixedly at Mrs. Joa without blinking. She must have seen or heard something. Mrs. Joa took a step back, her lips trembling. For a moment, panic flashed in her eyes and then vanished. I didn't do anything to that girl." Mr. Wan turned to his wife, his voice low but full of suspicion. Is there something you haven't told me?" No one expected that question to make the atmosphere so heavy. Huynh hugged Maya tightly, her heart pounding wildly, feeling that something dark was about to come to light. She didn't know what Maya had seen or heard, but it was clear. The girl's innocent phrase had opened a door that Mrs. Joa never wanted touched. A door hiding a secret, an unresolved truth, something related to why Huynh was thrown out and perhaps something connected to Tuc, who was now in prison. And right then, Maya whispered in Huynh's ear loud enough for everyone to hear. "I heard Grandma say that Mommy brings bad luck to this house, that she doesn't want her here." Those words were gasoline on an already burning fire. Mrs. Joa turned completely livid. Mr. Wan froze. Music. He clenched his fists tightly. And the truth, whatever it was already beginning to reveal itself. Maya's innocent phrase left the entire courtyard wrapped in heavy silence. No one dared to breathe. No one moved. Mr. Wan looked at the girl, then turned to his wife. His gaze seemed to tear away, one by one, the veils of lies he had believed were peace in his family for years. His voice came out rough, trembling with contained anger. "What did you say to my granddaughter? Did you really kick her mother out of this house?" Mrs. Joa shuddered and took a step back. Her trembling hands clutched the edge of her clothes. Music. I just said a few things. Children remember things wrong." But Mr. Wan didn't let her dodge. He advanced directly toward her, eyes red, marking every word. "Music. Don't change the story. I'm asking you, did you kick Huynh out or not?" Mrs. Joa took another step back, as if the question had slapped her. She looked at Huynh, then at Maya trembling in Ye's arms. "Music." Huynh remained silent, lips pressed together, eyes full of old wounds. She didn't need to say anything. The truth was already there. He held Maya against his chest so the girl wouldn't keep watching the scene. His gaze stayed fixed on the confrontation, like watching an old wound open again right in the middle of the courtyard. Mr. Wan's face hardened. His voice lowered but carried authority. "If you stay silent, it's because you're guilty." Mrs. Joa's heart pounded hard. She tried to turn away, but Mr. Wan stopped her by grabbing her arm. "Why? Why did you kick her out? Why did you force that mother and her daughter to live like nomads?" Mrs. Joa clenched her hands, panic clearly reflected in her eyes. It was for Tuc, for him." Her voice trembled weakly, as if each word were a needle piercing her conscience. Mr. Wan frowned. "What does Tuc have to do with it? He's in prison. Why did you treat Huynh and Maya like that?" Suddenly, Mrs. Joa exploded, unable to bear the pressure. "Because I was scared. Scared that Huynh would abandon my son, scared that she would take my granddaughter away, and I didn't want her to bring her bad luck to this house." The courtyard fell mute. Huynh froze. He clenched his fists until they turned white. Maya clung to his neck, crying softly. Mr. Wan looked at his wife in disbelief. "Bad luck? Do you know everything Huynh has endured? Do you know that Maya is the only thing left of Tuc?" His voice broke. "When you kicked her out, you also kicked out your own granddaughter." Mrs. Joa stammered. I just wanted her to stay here. I just wanted to take care of Maya for when Tuc gets out of prison." Music. Those words fell like a dry blow to the ground. He stepped forward immediately, his voice full of indignation. "You intended to keep Maya to take her to see Tuc?" Mrs. Joa fell silent. She didn't deny anything, and in that silence was all her guilt. Mr. Wan slammed the wooden table beside him hard. "You've destroyed everything. Do you know how Huynh has lived all these years because of you?" His eyes moistened, his face marked with regret. "If that day you hadn't kicked her out, Maya wouldn't have grown up with so many hardships. I lost my daughter-in-law and my granddaughter for years. All because of you." Mrs. Joa collapsed to the floor, crying, her hands trembling. Huynh stood there hugging Maya, her heart in pieces. She felt no relief from the revealed truth, only pain, the pain of a wound she thought buried but now open again. He looked at Huynh, at Maya, then directed his gaze to Mrs. Joa. His voice was low, but every word cut the air. Everything Maya said today, music, was no coincidence. Children don't lie about things that scare them so much. Music. Mr. Wan pressed his forehead, exhausted, as if he had aged 10 years in minutes. Huynh, don't go. Let me say everything. From the day she kicked you out of this house, the air has been tense like before a storm. There was another secret, an even bigger one, about to come to light. Maya remained clinging to Ye's neck, her tear-soaked face buried in his shoulder. Each small sob made the atmosphere feel heavier, as if everything were stuck in the throats of those present. Huynh looked at her daughter, then at the house behind her, that place she once called her husband's home, a place that started full of hope but also the one that threw her out without mercy. She took a deep breath, wiped Maya's tears, and turned to Yi. Her voice was weak but firm. Yi, let's go. Maya is scared to see her grandparents, and I no longer have anything to do with this family. Each word fell heavy on her chest, but at the same time, they were clear cuts separating her from a past full of wounds. Yi looked at her without anger, only with deep understanding. He nodded gently, a small gesture but full of the protection Huynh needed most in that moment. Yes, let's go. His deep, warm voice sounded like a promise. He placed a hand on Huyn's shoulder, drew her close gently, and positioned himself in front of them, shielding them from the tense looks behind. Mrs. Joa grabbed her clothes, wanting to say something, but only managed a dry sob. Mr. Wan remained motionless, hands trembling, trying to stay calm but not daring to take another step. Huynh didn't look back. She just squeezed Maya's hand so the girl would feel safe in her mother's embrace. Maya murmured through sobs, "Music. I want to go back to our house." "Yes, sweetie, Mommy is taking you home." Huyn's voice softened, though an ocean of thoughts filled her eyes. Yi shifted Maya to his other arm and placed his free hand on Huyn's back, guiding both toward the old gate. The wind blew gently with a slight chill, but by her side was the warmth of the man who had chosen to stand with them without hesitation. As they crossed the exit, Huynh turned her head slightly, not to look back but to let it go. A dry click sounded when the gate closed, like a period at the end of all the years of pain she had carried. Yi leaned in and murmured, "You're not alone anymore. You have me, and a new home, a place where you both belong." Huynh looked at him with red eyes, but inside, a calm she hadn't felt in a long time. "Music. Thank you, Yi." Her voice broke. The three walked along the small path back to their home. Behind them lay the chaos of the past. Ahead was the peace they were building together. And for the first time in many years, Huynh felt it clearly. Her family was no longer behind her, it was right by her side.